Because he spent that much time and his ability to do what he did, connecting all the timelines or holding all the timelines, did he become the god of stories?
So that is what's
Levels.
talked about in fan theory. Like, everyone is saying, like, oh, Loki became god of stories. Loki became god of stories. He didn't really become the god of stories, because we're going to navigate the vast and chaotic timelines of Loki season 2.
Did he become the god of stories?
How many times do you think we've had this conversation?
I think that broke everybody's brain.
Is he way more powerful than he was?
Okay, here we go.
Hello, time travelers and Marvel aficionados. Welcome back to our channel. In today's journey, we're going to navigate the vast and chaotic timelines of Loki Season 2. Join us as we delve into the cunning schemes of Loki, the complexities of the TVA, and the intriguing new characters that added layers to this mind-bending saga. We'll break down key moments, theorize on the time-twisting plot, and see how this season shapes the larger tapestry of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before we set off on this temporal adventure, a quick reminder about our other realms of entertainment. Gamers, be sure to check out our Nerd or Nothing Gaming for live streams packed with action and strategy. For those who love a good nerdy debate, the Narf Zone podcast delves deep into various nerd culture topics. And prepare for an epic quest in Tabletop Tavern. Anything is holding Marvel together right now.
Literally.
It's
Literally.
Loki season 2. It's
Literally.
Loki in general. Hey, literally. So hold on. Before we get to the end of it, let's give a little breakdown of the season as a whole. So obviously we saw in the trailer that Loki has been time skipping even in the TVA, which, you know, no one's ever seen that. It's not supposed to be able to be possible. I think the biggest plot twist was the fact that Loki was able to control that. You just see him rewinding time back to that same point whenever Sylvia's about to kill He Who Remains, and Kang stops time right there in front of him, and he's like, so how many times have we had this conversation? How many times are you going to go at it? And he's explaining to him, you know, everything that's going on. And he's like, all right, cool. Well, keep on going through this until
you keep on learning. And then
he was like, how many times do you think we've had this conversation? And so when he sat down and explained to him that, you know, Victor Timely didn't know what he was talking about when he said that the loom had a scaling issue. It was like, no, the loom doesn't have a scaling issue. The loom was meant to be nothing more than a failsafe for the sacred timeline, that if anything threatened the same sacred timeline, it would completely implode on itself.
And it imploded how many times?
So many times that Loki went back 10,000 years to learn all forms of like astronomics, and engineering, astrophysics. He was smarter than Ouroboros.
He was smarter than by that point. I was like, wow.
Because he spent that much time and his ability to do what he did, connecting all the timelines or holding all the timelines, did he become the god of stories?
So that is what's talked about in fan theory. Like, everyone is saying, like, oh, Loki became god of stories. Loki became god of stories. He didn't really become the god of stories, because the god of stories has more free will. He can transverse throughout any portion of time. He's more so the custodian of the multiverse, where he holds it together until somebody takes his place. Is he way more powerful than he was as Loki, god of mischief?
Yeah, the trickster god.
Most definitely.
Like, I would say that he's probably above the level of the Watcher. Because you have to remember, the Watcher is meant to do nothing more than to observe.
Just observe and record. That's it.
So I have a question. And who's each of yours favorite characters? Mine was Mobius.
You know, I think Mobius is a really great character. I was curious about how it ended, but I did like that Mobius was able to go back to his timeline and see who he was.
I loathe the fact that I hate Owen Wilson. I love Owen Wilson, and I hate him so much, but I love him in everything that he's casted as.
It's sort of like how Jers says that he doesn't like Jamie Foxx because he does the whisper thing. Owen Wilson does the same exact thing.
He was the glue to this season.
Tom Hiddleston killed his role as Loki.
He did.
Absolutely
destroyed. Listen, you know what though? I mean, I gotta give a personal shout out to Jonathan Majors. Like, I liked his role as Mr. Timely. It showed it. Obviously, he's a talented actor, but seeing the difference in the two characters, two Kangs, I guess you could say, I was like, damn, I'm actually captivated by this Victor Timely guy. I think he could do something. He's going to save the world. No.
Oh yeah,
No.
that threw me off whenever he walked out and was spaghetti-fied.
I think that broke everybody's brain when that happened.
But the way that they finished Loki season 2 and the way that the whole multiverse did Marvel create an opportunity to remove Jonathan Majors?
Marvel set up perfectly. Now,
think so.
it's whether or not they're going to execute afterward. So they can either go the route where we see a Kang version in all these coming Marvel movies and shows, or they can decide to say, all right, that's kind of to the wayside. Kang is no longer an important factor. Let's move on with all these other characters that we have.
Right. Listen, while we're talking on the actors and actresses that were in Loki season 2, Wumi Mosaku, she played the one of the guards.
Mosaku is so amazing. I feel like they underutilized her in this season though compared to the first.
How so?
The whole season, it felt like she was still just this low-level soldier, you know. But at the same time, throughout the majority of the second season, she was calling the shots. I don't know. It felt like she should have been more at the level of Owen Wilson's character as Mobius. Like, you should have a higher title, a higher position within this whole organization of the TVA, but you seem to be just another foot soldier.
Just a grunt. Yeah, like the person who played like I forget her name, like the High Templar, that was kind of like doing something with Kang.
Renslayer.
The reveal that she was He Who Remains love interest in it as well.
Yeah,
right.
That was very interesting.
And then he erased her mind. But then also in the end, whenever she wound up right in front of Eliath, it begs the question, like, will she survive? Because if she was working with Kang in that situation, Eliath would have had a connection with her in that situation too.
A big connection, and she would have been able to control it. In order to pretty much get what she wants.
It's a possibility that she could also be some kind of antagonist going forward.
True.
The Miss Minutes had me on edge. Like, yo, did she really? Yo, what does she do? Right, the whole time, like she was iffy throughout the whole series. Like, she was a very interesting character, and then for them to just completely wipe her memory, and now she's just back to original Miss Minutes, and they're like, well, I hope she doesn't go rogue again.
Remember when her last words? You'll never be him.
You'll never be him, bro. Whenever you saw Victor Timely go through that temporal radiation over and over again, get ripped to shreds, that montage was kind of funny.
Yeah. Since they're failing everywhere else, Loki is. Would you say it's their last shot, or is it Marvel and they could survive anything?
So, I mean, Marvel will definitely do well with Deadpool 3. We know that for sure. You know, Ryan Reynolds is great, and the fact that they brought Hugh Jackman back is great. But everything else is confusing because we're not going to be seeing the Illuminati again that we saw in Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, we're not going to see the Illuminati that way. The person that was playing, the guy from The Office that was playing Reed Richards isn't going to be portraying him, but it's not going to be. You know, so like they missed so many things by getting, like, we're not going to have the same Professor X.
So Loki season 2, an amazing twist, an amazing story. We would like to know what you think. Please let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Thanks again.